This video reviews the Do It Best cross-reference ranking. As you see in front of you, there are ranks of 1, 2, 3, and 4. When data is sent to Do It Best from your system, we provide all information about inventory. At Do It Best, they will take that listing of products and match for products that do have an exact UPC match. Those are ranked as 1s. Those that have a generic match don't have a UPC match, but a very close functional match. The example for us is always a P-trap from one vendor, a generic product, to another vendor, same generic product as far as function. Those two match up. So the 1s and 2s rankings are either a direct UPC match or a arguably almost exactly the same product. Yes, it is a UPC difference, but they are generally the same. A similar rank 3 gets a little more nuanced. In this particular case, on this example, as you see here, it's a 7/16" wrench by one manufacturer or the other. It's a hammer from one manufacturer or the other. This particular area is where retailers will have a decision to make, at least in our opinion, that maybe that wrench, even though it's 7/16", doesn't necessarily match exactly as the other product. And in this particular case, a similar or rank 3 may be added as a separate independent SKU within TransAct. So the last portion is alternative. That is, in this example, is a 9-foot range cord versus an 8-foot range cord. Yes, it's a range cord, but it is different. It may still get the job done, but it may be too short. There are examples also of steel wool, a packaging difference between the two. Yes, it's a number 2, but it's decidedly different. So again, alternative products may not be desired as adding those as a direct match in your system. Within TransActPOS, the TA toolbox, which is a utility that our staff will use, our technical support staff, to implement whatever level of matches, 1, 2, 3, or 4, that a store desires to have implemented in their location. As we go through this process, we are asked the question, as we read this file in, there's a process that we recognize. But it's down to this point right here is, do you want to include the matches that are 1s, 2s, 3s, and 4s? In this particular example, we are only accepting levels 1 and 2, the UPC and generic, pretty well-defined matches, leaving out the 3s and the 4s. So this is a decision process that the store needs to make. We will be sending over to each store examples of the file so they understand what they'll be adding in. For instance, this is a summary file that is created by TransActPOS. It is for this given store. And a little note here says the files below, these right here, can be opened in Excel or Notepad. In this particular location, matches of 1, UPC match, there are 6,554 matches that are direct UPC to UPC matches. So there's really no question there. There are 1,766 matches which are generic. That's that P-trap, matching the other distributor's P-trap. They're functional matches. They are so close, it makes logical sense to adopt those. But then we get down to the match code here of 3 and 4. We have yet still 3,700 items to deal with and 6,500 items to deal with in these two separate matches. This is where the store may choose to go ahead and adopt these. but it's been our experience that really these items need to be looked at individually and allowed to the retailer to add these as separate SKUs or adopt them underneath the existing SKU, your existing product in your store. Within the help file, just as we are seeing over to the left here, let me scoot this over a little bit. This is the sample match file from Do It Best. And this goes through exact examples of this. So there is a UPC match, and you'll see here in red, and in red is the exact UPC match. There's no question, that's the item. We come down to this functional match, or excuse me, the generic match. This is an example of a bushing to a bushing, different SKUs, or excuse me, different UPCs, generally the same price, so pretty darn close on pricing. So that would feel comfortable from a pricing aspect and probably a functional aspect. When we come down to this sample similar products, it's a fluorescent lamp holder. Yes, they are, well, it's a fluorescent lamp holder. It looks like a 2-card and a fluorescent lamp holder. They are generally the same pricing. If you go back and look at that rules table, they're in with a range of pricing. Now, is this a functional match that really makes it work for you, or should this be a separate SKU? That's up to you. Then we come down, in my example here, we're down to a little bit different format for that because it was further down the file, is that this product, it's a step ladder. Yes, it's a step ladder. It's a 4-foot and it's a 4-foot. But there is a pricing difference that is really getting further down that line as far as compatibility. And should this not clearly be a separate SKU for the other vendor, in this case, the Do It Best side. So this gives you some idea of what some examples of this are. Also included in the email that may go out to you is another file, and I'll just drag these in front, and I'll put them in order by name. So there is Matches 1, which is a listing of these Match 1 items. Matches 2, and then 3 and 4 will give you a viewable screen. So I'm going to open this up, say with Notepad++, and it gives you a formatted within a CSV format. There's our code 3s, etc. If we open that up also with Excel, it'll provide it to you in this format. If we left click on this field and double click here, then it straightens this data up. So here is your current SKU in your store. There's a manufacturer ID, and this would be the Do It Best SKU in this column. So this is the raw data that can be looked at. Thank you.